All units, please respond. We got a 7467. Two idiots spilling the tea about their neighbors.
Welcome to Crazy Rich Neighbors.
Misadventure in Manalapan.
There goes the neighborhood.
Hey, angelic bougie crew and debaucherous CRN trolls.
Got a question, a comment, or a buck wild neighbor story like our new guest does? Well, hit us up at 239-300-7276.
To sponsor our little show, do email us at info@crazyrichneighbors.com. And thank you to our sponsors, Podcast Junkies, right here in Boca Raton, Florida. Sponsors, where you at? Hit your girls up. I heard they're looking for like women over 40 to like influence.
Like
there you go. You got a
significantly
trio.
over 40.
Okay, we got an Oreo cookie right here.
I'm the vanilla stuffing, honey.
Yeah, the one everyone wants to look out for.
Full video episodes of The Shit Show are available on our Crazy Rich Neighbors YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button and share this ish.
Yes, and today our special guest is Maria Redmond, host of the Do It Anyway podcast. She's a seasoned pro bodybuilder and triathlete and a South Florida resident who's got maybe a little bit of hot spicy tea to spill, perhaps if you're good. Welcome, Maria.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, ladies. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
We're so excited to pick your brain today.
And hey, Benjamin.
Oh, hello. How are we?
How
You're
you doing?
excellent. It's Friday night. The feeling's right.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So tell us a little about yourself, Maria.
All right.
Like, where do we begin?
I know.
Whatever you'd like to share.
When you get to my age, it's a lot of life.
Whatever. You're
Oh,
so
my
young
God,
with
you're
these
gorgeous.
hot body and these guns
Thank
that we're
you.
here like
Yeah.
salivating over.
Ooh, Queen.
Jeez. So, I'll just start with a brief. I've just moved back to the U.S. in the last 2 years, a little over 2 years now from Germany.
Oh, wow.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Sprechen Sie Deutsch, ja?
Oh, dein Mann ist Deutsch?
I heard.
Wirklich?
Yes. And I asked if you spoke it. Now I know.
Oh, no, ein bisschen.
I'll just be over
You
here
probably know a
sprechen
bit,
Sie
you know a
English.
bit more than that, I'm sure. So I lived in Europe with my family, my husband, and my youngest two children for about close to 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And we went through an unfortunate, breakup and
Oh,
divorce.
sorry.
And so I decided to move back here to the States. And I landed first in Fort Lauderdale,
Okay.
right on the beach down there.
Beautiful.
And my brother lives up here in the Boca area, and so he wanted me to be closer.
Nice.
So I said, okay, I'll come closer, but I don't want to be that close.
Yeah, you need a buffer zone, right?
I'm the black sheep of the family, right? So I like to be alone. I like to do my
Yeah.
own thing. I don't like people in my mix too
Oh,
much.
That's
yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's definitely you.
Yeah.
yeah. So I kept looking, and I hired this real estate agent to find a place for me. I left Fort Lauderdale, went back to Germany for a little bit. My third oldest still lives there. So I wanted to visit him for a little bit, and I had a guy kind of looking to find me a place, not in Fort Lauderdale. And he finds this great place in Manalapan. House had been empty for quite some time.
Good.
He said the prices looks good. It's beautiful. It's probably a lot more space than you need, but
And Alpan's lovely, too.
it's beautiful. But I said, okay, that's totally fine. The joke of the whole thing is I get there to look at the place, and it is marvelous. And I had a specific request. I said I didn't want to live near the element.
The element?
The element. I don't think that the realtor, well, I know now that he didn't know what I meant when I
don't know
said
what
that.
you
Like the fifth element. The water?
The brown people.
Oh!
Okay.
The element?
well, the like the
What's wrong with the brown people?
the corner store brown people.
Oh,
You know what I'm
they're
saying?
not in Manal. Oh, no wonder you're in Manalapan.
so,
You're like alone, like I am in Highland Beach.
So, I just didn't want to drive out of my house and see a corner store. Because
Okay.
what happens...
At a quick check cashing place.
right, 'cause
Girl, we're gonna get our ass roasted for this show.
Not me. I haven't said check shit yet.
I'm not saying I'm against the brown people. I'm brown. I'm just saying I don't want the element. It's an element. That's why I use the word element. It's an element.
And yet somehow I'm going to be the racist on this show.
I want to protect you, boo.
It's not tea. It's not tea. It's all me. I'm brutally honest. So,
It ain't me, y'all.
No.
So, well, let me take a small backtrack. I had a realtor prior to this one, and he was showing me things before I went back to Germany that were like, I guess he assumed because I was brown, that's where I wanted to be.
Oh, that's
The price point of the homes were low,
Right.
and it was putting me in an area that I'm like,
You know, the same thing happened to me when I was living in
they just
Germany, and
assume.
I came home to meet with a realtor who took me all up in the ghetto.
the
I'm like,
ghetto, yeah.
sweetie,
What the
so I
fish,
went.
yo?
I'm like, I'm taking this into my own hands,
Yeah.
and I found my beautiful place that had an elevator in it, and a garden and everything that I needed. But it's true. The same thing happened
they
to me.
just
too.
assume.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Right. So I figured
I
if
found my own
used-
place. I literally found my own
Well,
apartment.
I found this house we live in
Yeah.
too, but obviously
Yeah.
a much different
That's right.
situation.
So
and
I figured when I got the next realtor, if I used the word the element, that it would be a little bit soften the blow, because I didn't want to say.
I didn't know what that meant.
I see. Know it, right?
Oh
Did that
my
realtor
God.
know what that
He
meant?
didn't. So
Okay.
it's even funnier.
I think you created
So-
that, child.
So I come back and we go to look at the home, and it's really nice. I love where I live. And he goes, I have one question. He goes, I hope that we're not by the element. And I was like, up here? I was like, no. And he had his nephew with him, Jesse, and Jesse goes, yeah, we don't really know what that is. And so I looked at them and I said, I didn't want to be near brown people.
Oh my God.
So Eric,
Lord.
Eric, the realtor, says she's brown, and I said,
we're gonna get canceled.
we're not going to be careful. We're not. This is a soft blow. So Eric looked at me and he goes, she's
Going out with a bang, boo.
He goes, she's brown. So now I'm looking at Eric like I'm standing right here.
Oh my gosh.
He's blind.
What?
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Literally, he can't see anything.
Oh,
He didn't know she was brown.
He wouldn't have known if I was brown, if there was an element, nothing. He doesn't even know what the house looks like. But we're standing
You're
here.
Chinese.
I didn't even know you could be a realtor and be blind.
Exactly. You should see this place.
sells-
But he was a blind
I guess he
realtor.
can't call it a
He sells,
showing.
he sells the most million and billion-dollar homes up here in
How?
our area in
Oh,
West
we need
Palm.
to have him on our show because how?
He's amazing. I don't know how he does what he does, but he gets it done.
Wow.
God, I love
Yeah.
stories
So, like,
like
Yeah.
this.
Pity sales.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Is he
So-
really good at what he does?
He's amazing. I mean, he gave me so much information on that
wow.
home as if he had really like been inside of it. Like it was phenomenal. So when I got there, and his eyes are open, so I was just like,
So
what
he
is
had no cane or anything?
Well, no.
Okay.
Jesse kind of, his
Oh,
nephew
okay.
kind of guides him step up. And I didn't think, he's a little older. So I was like, yeah, you better step up. That's a
my
big step.
It's
God,
Florida.
that
He
is-
could have been drinking at lunch. I mean, you know.
100%.
But that's
right?
brilliant, though. You know how some people, when they have disabilities, they let it
Yes.
end their,
Yeah.
like it caps them as to
He-
what you can and cannot do.
he
It makes
does
you so
not.
grateful,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's 100%.
Are you
Like I have
kidding
such
me?
profound respect for Eric. Yeah,
No, but
don't-
have you ever
yeah.
heard of that, a blind realtor?
No, but
I
I've heard of
hadn't.
the Black Irish realtor.
Yeah. Oh, who's your fam? Yes.
My cousin.
Yeah.
My husband's cousin.
And he's a cutie. He's
Oh.
with Sotheby's.
Yeah.
So you might still deal with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though he's an element.
He is an element.
I don't mind well, no. The element is
I love being an element, by the way.
The element is like like the
The preconceived notion of what.
well
Maybe the working
well,
class.
and it doesn't necessarily have to be brown. No, not the working
Okay.
class.
Okay.
I am talking about street people.
Oh, okay.
But they could be white too.
not not
Absolutely.
homeless people, but like
Right.
people who are just. We all know
Yeah.
the black corner store. We don't all
Yeah.
pass it. Where you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I should get gas tonight.
I haven't
you know
seen
what?
one
I'm
of
going to run
those
out of
in our-
gas.
But we haven't. Yeah. Well, they're not around here.
They're not. There's not
Yeah.
very many.
Yeah.
Yes. But in Fort Lauderdale, there's tons of them.
Oh yes, child. I'd never
Right.
live in Fort
So-
Lauderdale or
No.
Broward County, honey, or Miami.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that was very,
Not because of the elements.
and
though.
and I. She's covering her butt. Like, no, I'm okay with saying the element. I mean, I moved from Germany back to the States.
yeah,
and-
you were the only element. You were the element.
Yeah, well, now
She
I am.
picked up where you left
Now
off in
I
Germany.
now I am the element in my neighborhood.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
My move-in experience was hilarious.
What happened?
So, I'm a very private person.
Okay.
So I had my moving truck come extremely early in the morning. I'm talking
Okay.
about 3-4 a.m.
Wow.
And I'm one of those people that I want you to back the truck up to the garage door.
Oh.
You
Well,
unload.
that's what I did. Yeah.
Right, because I don't want people seeing what I have.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's just a thing.
Yeah.
So that whole night they got everything in, And the neighbors were all asleep, so no one really saw anything.
I love it.
But the next day, there's always a little trinket things got from my storage, like my mop bucket, things like that. So I pulled in, and I'm carrying. She just so happened to catch me with the bucket and the mop. So to her defense,
She was like, new help is in the hood.
she ran over. She was like,
What's your hourly rate?
She ran over. She's like, oh my God, I've been looking for a cleaner for so long.
Oh.
How much do you charge?
Oh my God! Now you can charge $150,000 a
I know,
year.
to be
Exactly.
a property manager.
No,
In
a
Palm Beach.
housekeeper. A housekeeper too.
Yeah.
Yes.
House
I might need a new
manager.
job. when
I
saw
know.
Okay.
that.
Hey, if I was in a bind, I would absolutely
We just
do
did a
that.
show on that.
Yes.
I am not too bougie. I would take
I
that
would
job
too.
Yes.
I would definitely property manage for that
100%.
price. I mean,
Yes.
that's unheard
Absolutely.
of. You'll
I
never
know.
make that
But you're
money.
calling it property
No.
managed, but it's literal people who are cleaning the
Domestic-
house.
it's domestic help.
But you could just put your, jazz it
Yes.
up.
Yes.
We've got to clean the resume up.
Yes.
Well, a similar thing happened to me, actually. I was watching my friend's dog, and I have a dog as well, and I
Right.
was walking the two dogs in our neighborhood, and this couple pulled over, and they go, "Oh, are you a dog walker?"
Oh God.
I go, "I live here."
Okay. Excuse me.
I told her that I lived here and lived there, and I just moved in. And
Did her mouth
face,
like?
Well, she was very apologetic because she
Good.
had realized where she stood, and I said, "Hey, it's okay.
Yes.
I'm carrying the tools. Like,
Yes.
my skin
Yeah.
is brown. I get it.
Yes.
It's fine." And she was a little bit, embarrassed, but excuse me. And the subsequent homeowners, like the meeting of the meetings that
Yes.
you try to.
Oh, we hate those.
It was a social. They set up like it was a social, and the questions there were crazy.
What did they ask?
Who is your husband?
Of
Oh,
course.
God.
Of course.
was
They
the-
probably thought he was somebody
Should've
famous.
said he was
Right.
deceased and
Well,
let him
once I
wander.
told them that there is no husband, they were like, "So you live in that house alone?" I was
Oh.
like, "Yeah." So then they said, "Well, what sport do you play?"
Oh my God! Like you're a famous athlete.
And I said, "I play education. I'm a dietitian."
Hey, good for
you.
that. Good for you.
God.
I mean, because I am a pro athlete, but
Yes.
I'm so much more than that.
Absolutely.
So I had to kind of dispel that, and they kind of were chill. And I met everyone and giggled, hee hee ha ha, and that
Good for you because I don't even kiki and haha because I don't go to them things.
Well, so I learned a lesson a long, long time ago about, showing up and people thinking whatever they think about you. It's fine.
Yeah.
But still showing up because there's always that one relationship that you can make in the room that ends up
is true.
exploding into something else. And
True.
that
Yes.
that became right. 100%. Look at you two right
We're
here. Right?
neighbors.
yes.
So
Even though I hid from them for like a year.
A year.
I'm like, I'm
Thanks.
good. I'm good.
It's only because of her children that we're friends.
That I got forced out of my house closet.
yeah, see,
Literally.
right.
I was there
And that's
for a year.
me. I'm a quiet to my self. We have a private beach in the back, and they're like, "Oh, we never see you back here." And I was like, "After today, you won't see me again."
Okay.
Go back in.
Oh
I didn't
my.
say
See you
that,
next
but-
year
right,
at this lovely meeting.
It's a really cool neighborhood, but they are a very spirited bunch of 55 and older.
Yes.
Such as, for example.
The wild parties.
Okay.
So
shocking.
I just want to tell the world, when you think that there's a lot of drugs coming across the border,
Yeah.
baby, they are here at the Suburbans.
Yes.
Like, what are they doing?
Oh, they have massive coke parties
Holy
all the
shites.
time.
But
It's-
we did an episode about that. These PTA
I know, but I want to hear what else.
Yeah.
What other
I
stuff
get
are they
invited
on?
to a party, and like I said, my mindset is you never know whom you're going to meet, so always go, be sociable. Plus, I'm single too, so at this point, I'm like, I
Yes.
might see something I like. you know?
Exactly.
So I go, and let me tell you something.
Wow.
It's crazy, right?
It's like displayed like it's like we're purchasing handbags.
Holy smokes.
I mean, just laid out
like bowls or lines? or-
lines
oh, shit.
on
See,
very-
we didn't lie.
very nice crystal platform.
Very classy.
Good straws for you to.
Yeah.
Oh my God! So they have like weed and pills.
Oh
like
yeah,
you can pick what you
100%.
want.
That was the
Viagra.
wildest party. But then that's when I realized I was also at a swingers party.
Right?
So, how did you make that discovery?
Okay, so initially when I came in the door, being the only single person, there were a lot of couples there, right?
Yeah.
Tons of couples, and the owner of the home he's introducing me to everyone, and she just moved in, and she's this and she's that, and you know how we are. We always kind of, unfortunately, size women up.
Oh,
right?
sure.
We're looking. We're always
Yes.
like,
We dress for other women.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I am getting eyeballed, but the eyeballing seemed a little like masculine eyeballing, kind of like,
wow.
Okay.
And then the comments, oh, she's thick. She's nice. And I typically get men that touch me and, like, oh my God, your arms or whatever. But the women were doing it. And the running through the hair. And I was a little bit like, they must not know that you never touched the hair.
Do they do Molly?
I don't know. I'm not a big, like, those drugs, but there was enough drugs.
Right, whatever they were on, they were
probably
Viagra
to lower
Right,
the inhibitions.
Right, right, 100%.
Oh my God.
So they had another area of the home, large area. This particular home that I'm discussing is massive. It's at least 15,000 square feet.
Oh my gosh.
It's humongous. And it's the largest one in that section, so you'll probably find out whose house
I
it
know whose house. I think I know whose house that is because my kids went to a school in that
in the, right,
neighborhood.
up the street, right?
And the ish that I've heard, because did not socialize, but the things that I heard about.
It's crazy.
But Manalapan is absolutely beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Stunning.
But in that back room, they were having at it.
Are you
Wives
like
were
how many
swapping.
people?
There
Like-
was at least 60 people
Like, could
at
you
this
see
party.
them?
Oh yeah, they were kissing and swapping, and I
What?
walked in, and the guy's like, "I hope you're comfortable with this. Make yourself at home. You don't have to
You
participate."
didn't expect it, right?
No, I
How would you, right? I mean, I
stood
would.
at the
No.
door. I was stunned because
Yeah.
I was like, we just went from drugs to sex in one.
Oh my God! You wanted to be away from the elements, child. You are like in the knee deep in the
Let me
elements.
tell you
You
something.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was at the precipice of all of the element. What? And in my mind, it's funny you say that because I can remember thinking, I wonder where they got all this from. Did they hook up with the people up the road?
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh!
They went to a corner store in Fort Lauderdale.
I know.
Whoa!
There's plenty of places to buy in Manalapan. I can tell you.
Oh, really?
that.
See,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
no idea.
Did
Yeah.
did they bring in like outside prostitutes or sex workers?
No, it was the neighborhood people.
It was
And
DIY.
It was. It was DIY.
Whoa!
And I only really I didn't want to be rude and just kind of bust off and leave like, oh my God,
Yes.
So I just, I'm an adult and I know how to say no. I'm not
Yes.
into it. It's fine. And everyone was really, really respectful. Very, very, very respectful.
Because you weren't given a heads up.
Right. I was right. But I'm now scanning the room because I know when I hit that Publix.
Yes, you're gonna see all of
wanna
these
see
people.
Freaky
We
deakies.
see them. I used to
Yeah.
recurrently see these people, and so because I met some
See
people
'em
there
at
that were like,
church.
there was a few people there that were like,
And
oh
these
my
are-
God, I saw you at the Publix last week. I remember you stand out.
And
So
these are people like on the PTA, on
Oh,
like
yeah.
the charity
these
boards.
are CEOs and of companies. These are high-end stay-at-home moms.
Yes.
Like that I would not, some of them were a little matronly, so that kind of took me by surprise.
They're always the ones.
See,
Yeah.
we were not exaggerating.
The
on
ones
that
when you
show.
think that like you look at them and it has that appearance
That's
that
what
oh
I'm
never
telling
that those
you.
Yeah.
were the wild ones.
It's the
Yes.
ones who pull up in the morning in their little
Yes.
golf
The
hats
golf
and their
hat-
Lily
yes.
Pulitzer with their
Yes.
golden retriever and their two little kids and drop them off.
Yes.
It's those ones.
Yes, and
Freaks.
they were the most high.
Whoa.
That's what blew my mind. And so now I'm a creature of like learning. I'm always intrigued by psychology of people. So now at this point, I'm sitting there. I'm like, I am taking this in because this is a gem right here.
is
I want to see what
entertainment.
yes, and just watching.
Can you
their
invite us to
mannerisms-
one?
I know.
Oh,
You
that'll
know what?
come too.
Let's get invited.
There's
We could do some
there's
recon, girl.
Yeah.
There's
down.
a party I want to say I have to go in my drawer and they send out like a little note every so often. I think it's in August. I'll find it and maybe yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Undercover investigation.
I'm pretty sure I can bling +2.
Oh, they're gonna think we're a threesome.
I know that's why.
Oh my God.
Wait, let me pull in with all of you three around. Let me just come up with
Ben, this is like the.
He'd be down for this.
I
But
love
hold on,
Ben.
Ben gets the girls, the
I
milfs.
know, I know.
The milfs love
They love
Ben.
They do love Ben. Ben's a cutie.
Jeez.
Okay.
Ben would kill it at
So,
that party.
yeah.
So
Ben,
what
you
else
could find
about
your
the
next girl.
psychology of
Well, you
the
know
party
what
people.
what I found. Well, first of all, I found that a lot of moms had their kids a lot later,
okay.
right? And I think that when you hit that 50 mark
Yeah.
and you're still parenting young kids,
Ouch.
Yeah.
exactly. Ouch. You need a drink and some.
And these
pillows to
dads are
make
like
it.
on their way to 70. That's the problem.
And that was the next thing that I noticed. The men were much older than the wives. There were only a few couples where you could see that the age was very congruent.
Okay.
But it was mostly much older men who looked like they were going to die. There was one guy, there was one gentleman there in his wheelchair. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Honey, why are you
Was he getting freaky?
He was. And I'm like, why are you even here, sir?
Oh
sir,
my God.
Why
I guess if you're going to die, you better die doing what you love.
I mean, he
They're
got
doing it
needs
right.
too, boo.
I know they're doing it right up there like nobody's business.
Holy smokes.
I literally left and walked back up the road like, what did I just see?
like something out of a movie, right?
yeah.
Would you ever write a
porno.
book?
I'd have to go back for more because I feel like, you can get
August.
you can get so many different stories.
Yeah.
And it intrigued me to the point where there are a few of the women that I do know from seeing them now continuously in the neighborhood. If I, that's my typical run route where I ride my bike. So I see them outside all the time and getting to know them a bit more. And that's what keeps shocking me. Like what they give off in the exterior is not what you saw back in that room.
And there was no shame?
No shame. These parties have clearly been going on for quite a while because they were naked so fast. Like this was like Naked and Alive.
Oh my gosh.
Not like a bad episode of
Naked and
Alive.
Unafraid.
Yeah, Naked and Unafraid to show that your
my
surgery is not
goodness.
holding up.
Oh,
You need a tune-up.
Wow.
That's what I was looking at too. I was like, all this money, those should not
You
be
know what?
hanging
And
where they are.
I don't want to see a 70-year-old scrotal sack. I just
First of all,
don't.
they really do hang. It was
Oh
really,
my
yeah.
And they have a lot of
Yeah.
sexual energy. I mean, we've talked about the villages
Oh,
on multiple. Have you
yeah.
ever heard of the villages?
Oh, I've heard of the villages. And there was
Child.
definitely Viagra there, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. There had to
100%,
be,
yeah.
right?
So are there signs like in other, there are some country clubs in Boca where like if you keep the garage door half up, we know the universal pineapple upside down or
Right.
pineapple is a sign.
It's the pineapples for them in Manalapan.
So what do they
Really?
do?
And I'll be honest with you,
Have you
I
ever-
had no idea. I just thought it was like a decoration.
Well, its innocent meaning is you
Right.
like welcome.
Welcome,
It's symbol
right,
of being,
right.
yeah, welcome.
And so, but no, theirs are on their side.
Oh.
What does that mean?
So what
Super
about like at
freaky
the
deaky?
what about if they're going to the grocery store? Like, do they put it in the cart and tilt it to the side? Like,
know,
are they
that's-
always hunting?
Because that is a
booty?
signal.
That's a good question.
Because
Pineapple in the child seat is a
Is-
signal that you're
yes.
down to swing.
you guys know more
Yes,
than me. I'm so
because we did a whole
I'm
episode.
so
We
new
went to
to
a
this.
swingers club
We
in
did.
Fort
It was
Lauderdale. We did some
horrible.
recon.
I am. It's gross, right?
Episode 11.
Please watch it.
It would be better to be in a mansion in Manalapan than in a sticky
For sure,
floored.
yeah.
yeah.
dark
I would
club,
imagine.
strip mall.
Hurry,
Yeah,
it was
ugh.
disgusting.
Oh yeah, the element was there.
Well, we got there early. Actually, we
The
saw no
sticky
element. It
No,
was all
the
my people.
The sticky element.
Yes.
It was all the vanillas that were there when we were there.
Oh yeah, and they look like tree huggers.
Yeah.
They look like granola
And there
tree
was-
huggers.
There was a couple. Remember the elderly couple?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shocked me. The age.
Yes.
I was like, you guys still think that you're 30? This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, what is
And
going
that they give
on?
zero fucks.
I know.
Like, right. Well,
I love you, but I don't want you seeing me naked.
No,
You know what
that's
I
not my
mean?
idea of fun.
I don't want your husband ever seeing me
Yeah.
naked.
Us
yeah,
like
that-
having a
yeah.
drink and whooping it up is one thing, but
but
like
being nude and
No.
and having sex in front of you
I
guys,
may-
that'd be totally
no.
awkward.
No, I could never get
that's
that
not
out of
my
my
idea
mind.
of fun.
No.
Completely comfortable and completely comfortable with the swapping and completely comfortable with the watching. It was, yeah, it was insane to me. I did their rule was, excuse me, I should have known there was an issue when they said no cell phones at the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, as soon as you walked
Soon
in.
as
I would have been
walked
like,
in.
why are there celebrities here?
So, well,
Okay.
honestly, in my mind, I was thinking that because Bon Jovi's house is next door. Oprah's house, I think, is 2 doors down.
Oh, you
So-
live in a bougie ass
So
neighborhood.
this is right. So there's so in my mind, I'm like, oh, clearly
Oof.
there's gonna be some type of,
Yeah.
so no video,
Wow.
no.
Well, that, yeah,
you know,
makes
fine,
sense.
No
Yeah.
You
selfies.
thought maybe celebs are in the
Yeah,
house.
and I would expect that,
Right.
Yeah.
And so I put my phone in the bin and I was like, oh, well, there's enough drugs. I wouldn't want that on video. I
Oh
could see
my
why we're
goodness.
Yeah, if you're CEOs and all of that.
right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't partake, then you just get disinvited.
No, actually, that they're totally fine with it. There's more than enough food and regular beverages.
I
for
mean,
you to
like the
partake
next
in.
one, like the next party.
You could tote.
Oh, yes, child. I would be so busy toting, not drugs, but like nobody's interested in eating.
She's a champion toter.
Oh, yes, Caribbean thing, child. That's what the
Yes.
elements do.
Well, I definitely know that being from my family being from Puerto Rico and St. Thomas. So
Okay,
I understand
all right,
quite
on Bahamas.
well. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
We'll bring
yeah.
Tupperware.
But
Yeah,
imagine
'cause
those
we gotta
little,
take it home.
but who wants to
Well, they're
tote?
doing coke. They're not going to be hungry. So
This is so true. They were so wired, and I was looking at all that food like, man, that grilled chicken is looking good. I should
just brought your little Tupperware,
I can take a few of these home with me
Yeah,
because this is
but
going to
then
go in
one
the garbage.
plate of food, and I'll just watch these freaks.
But if somebody, like, if they're like all having sex or whatever, I would think the food might get contaminated.
No, very, very
They-
clean.
they have
Well,
servers?
we eat early.
They serve
It was a whole setup.
Oh,
this was
my.
not. This was done correctly,
I
ma'am.
bet the servers
With,
had
like,
to sign an
shit.
NDA.
You know it.
This was very well done. I am talking about food in another room with
Ben,
servers.
could you imagine the hunting you could go do?
I know, right? You are washing your
think I would be
hands.
hunted.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
You would be hunted.
hand sanitizer and things all over the place. But yeah, there's a whole.
Oh.
You're not just leaving that.
Are the
room
help
and-
there?
The help was there.
So do people wear towels like when they get out and get naked and get? Then do they change?
They
into
had
a
robes.
a
They didn't have
robes.
towels.
Oh,
They had robes.
They had
Yeah.
enough robes for anybody who wanted
This
a
is an
robe.
ongoing thing.
Miss Sony
yeah,
robes?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I
got name
wanted to
tags.
look like what's going on in these robes. Right?
I just take a robe home?
Like, can I tote a robe?
Right, exactly. Without having to do the work for it.
They were. I know. I just want the robe.
You know-
Get a robe.
You know they're plush.
I'm a new guest. Can I get a robe?
I know.
They are
New
very
Year.
much. Yeah. They weren't those.
Like, I
robes,
didn't do
though.
any coke. Can I
know.
take the robe?
Yeah, right. You saved a
Can I have
bundle
some
on
foil?
Yeah, because I need
Shrimp
to,
skewers?
I need a Ziploc
I swear.
and a robe.
Look, that's one part of me that was like, man, this food is going to go to waste. This is going to be a shame. I
See,
really
that's
should
what I
take this.
think too.
Can I just take the pan, sir? I'll bring the pan back.
Right.
But I just, because no, they're not. Look at them. They're busy.
They
They're
wouldn't
not-
even notice. You could have toted and come snuck right back, and toted and
Because
snuck
I
right
was
back.
thinking, once this high that they're on wears off, they got to take a nap.
Oh yeah.
Because they were
ain't
acting like
eating.
they were 20 years old. And even I was like, their knees are
So was
gonna
there a
be
DJ?
shot.
So was there a DJ?
No DJ, but they did have music playing.
Okay.
Yeah. they had
Like
music.
what type of music?
Like a house type poppy music.
So were people
yeah.
dancing?
Yeah, people were having
and
a good
groping.
Very gropey.
Ew.
Very gropey. Very. It was. I'm telling you, the touching of my hair is when I was like, oh boy.
I would not like that.
Yeah. Well, I totally was like, she must not know the rules on touching my hair.
Did you say
God.
anything?
No, I just said I don't like my hair to be touched. But, I wasn't rude. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. You say, oh, it's okay. It's beautiful. and I was like,
Oh, my
thank you. And,
That was
It
like that was like a friend of mine whose mother-in-law owned a place in a prominent swinging country club
right.
in Boca, and she went with her husband. They didn't know that it was, and like her husband kept getting proposition. She didn't get proposition. She was like, "What happened to me?"
They don't-
Not that they were down with that, but
Right.
she was
Well,
like,
sometimes
she
it's
left
nice just to
feeling
be
like
asked.
right. She felt
100%.
like she felt bad that like everybody was after her husband. Nobody, even
Right.
though they are not swingers, they
Right.
do not swing. And she was just like, "Well, what happened to me?"
I know. It's,
You
I
know?
feel that way too.
Like,
you would
felt
want to be
bad.
wanted. I mean,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
isn't that weird how
Yeah.
human nature
I
is?
know.
Right?
You still want to cling to something, even if it's gritty and gross.
I know.
Like, I want to be. I don't want to do it. I just want to know that I could. You know?
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to know that I could.
It's an honor to be nominated.
Right. 100%. It's an honor to be nominated. Right.
Did Wheelchair Man get?
Wheelchair Man was
some
getting
action?
play. Wheelchair Man was getting play. Wheelchair Man must have a lot of money because first of all, he looked like, I hate to be disparaging, but he literally looked like he was on his way out. And I was like, he is one
Wow.
crotch away from the grave.
He
Like,
should run for office.
Wow.
I know, right? We're running old men. That's here. We got
Got a special on.
But do
on
you
geriatrics.
but do you think like gold diggers go there looking for their next victim?
Ooh, good one. Well, they'd have to know about the parties.
They'd have to know. And I got the
How would they even get in?
I got
you
the
know?
impression that it's legitimately just a true neighborhood thing. And if you are invited, then it's someone of the couple
Right.
that brought you in.
Because
right?
then you don't want to
Okay.
bring in like, okay, say these like mumsy wives. You don't
Right.
want to bring in some hot chick from the outside,
100%.
some outside
Right.
of the
Yeah, they're-
neighborhood who could steal your man.
Right.
Correct.
Swing and steal it.
Right.
And you know there are stories like
Right,
that too.
Yeah.
100%. There were no voluptuous. I think in terms of like shapely bodies, I was the only one in the building.
Okay.
It was definitely.
I could see.
It was
a
middle-aged,
safe
typical.
space.
Right. It was the typical middle-aged mom body.
Okay.
Nothing. You can tell they've had some work, right?
Right.
Boob jobs. Some had nip tuck, but nothing where they're like,
Va, va, va,
They
boom,
weren't bangs.
like,
Yeah, it was none of that. None
Yep.
of that. And I think-
nobody's in to steal the husbands.
right. Nobody's
Just
in
a
it-
neighbor
right, it's just
thing.
a
Get
neighbor
your freak
thing. We're
on.
swapping, and that seems to be it. Yeah,
Wow.
and I've seen the gentleman that owns a home several times, and he's like, after the party, he's like, "Were you okay?" I was like, "I had a good time. It was a good experience." I said, some of the stuff wasn't quite my thing, and I didn't know that thing was going on.
Yes.
And I kind of just made a joke to kind of just lighten the mood. I was like, "Would you find you a single one? And you let me know."
I know.
Yeah.
But
Let me know.
but I mean, even to hunt there though,
I
and
would-
then
I would.
if your husband's swinging,
It was more of a just
Yes.
Yeah.
bring
But
it
I don't
down,
even think
but-
you could even find a good
Oh no,
man
I would not
there.
find a good man
But
there.
there are
Yeah.
enough. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are enough neighbors
Oh.
in Manalapan.
Bon
100%.
Jovi must know someone for you.
I see a lot of men when I'm running, going up
Yes.
towards West Palm Beach. There's
Okay.
plenty.
So how?
know.
So what's your dating game like?
Honestly, none.
Really?
Yeah.
By choice, clearly.
By choice.
Okay,
I
well,
dated
that's fine.
one guy since my divorce, and you should never date your best friend.
Oh.
We were friends for years, and I don't know what happened, what made us cross that line, and that kind of weirded things.
Oh.
It's like the comfort.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the
I think right. I think I
familiarity.
was going through a portion in my mourning of your marriage of,
Sure.
wow, I've been married for all these years now. I'm single.
How
right?
long
Yeah.
were you married?
Almost 30 years.
Oh my God.
What? Girl,
Yeah.
You look so young. What?
do.
Almost 30 years
My
married?
oldest child is 30,
Stop it.
and I've got 3 grandkids.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're a hot mama.
Thank you.
What?
Okay.
Yes. So
What? Would you date a younger guy?
I've talked to a few of them, like when
Yeah.
they approach me, like in the gym space. But honestly, I think that they think I only want to talk about working out. Like I have
Oh.
to, and then typically when they find out my age, and they're a little bit like,
It shouldn't matter if
It
they're
wouldn't
attracted
scare a
to you.
Ben.
I know.
No, Ben would be like, yes,
I would be
queen.
like, I got you, boo.
they're like, oh my
That's
god,
a real man over there.
How you
honey.
doing? How you doing?
Take you
Ben
down
ain't
to
scared of
Buffington.
nothing.
I know. But
Yeah.
for me, honestly, I am enjoying my peace.
Good for you.
I've been parenting and married my whole life.
Yes.
All the what we would
Yeah.
consider the good years, right? I don't really believe in the good years, but
Yeah.
those younger formative
Yes.
years.
Yeah.
And now I have the freedom and still the health and energy to do exactly what I want to do, pursue my sporting goals the way I want to pursue them. And
Exactly.
yeah, I
Live life on your own terms,
Yeah,
basically.
Right.
And
And
it's
I-
like we talk about it. Like, would we really get married again?
No.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I
Like,
would
is
not.
it necessary?
Right,
You
no-
have your
yeah.
own financial security
100%.
and your own money.
It takes on a very different aspect. I think maybe if I didn't have my own things,
Yeah.
that might be. But I don't want to say you don't need a man, because I think that's not good
I
to
think you
say.
need companionship.
You
for
always
sure.
need a
Yeah.
companion.
Yeah.
We're designed to have companionship. He's got to be amazing for me to say I do again,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
I've got to want to have a leg with hair on it next to me in the bed, because right now
Somebody
I'm like,
messing
Yeah.
up your house and
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
on shows you don't want to watch.
right, yeah, the
and-
TV's on. And I
How
don't-
long have
yeah.
you been divorced? Because how quickly does it get? Do you go from mourning to getting used to?
enjoying your life on your own terms.
like two?
Where's this going?
Right.
This conversation.
2021 was the start of the demise, so it's been about 3 years in the making, from the
Okay, that's not a
separation
long
to the
time.
divorce. So no, not a long time
That
at
is
all.
quick. Did you see it coming, or did?
Yeah, my marriage was doomed, unfortunately, for like the last 5 years of it. I
I'm
stayed because
sorry.
I wanted to raise my last 2, make sure that they can get out the house, in a safer environment. My ex-husband's a great man.
You still
Let me-
friends?
We don't talk. We have a restraining order, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, things got a little hairy.
no.
He got a pill addiction from an injury
Oh, shoot,
no.
that
in
happens.
the military.
Yep.
And they just keep giving you pills when you're in the military.
Yes.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
terrible.
And then he started drinking on top of it. 'cause
Oh, no.
The pills weren't working, of course.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And by the time we got to the crux of the issue, which was the back injury and having surgery and fixing
Yes.
it, he was a full-blown addict.
Oh my God,
at
that
point.
happened to. I'm so sorry.
So,
that
it
happened to
happens.
my housekeeper's child,
So, you know.
who was in the military.
Yeah.
got injured, and
They just medicate you.
Our veterans deserve so much better.
They do.
why do they give them so many pills?
You know,
I didn't think that happened
I
in
think
Germany.
it's probably more cost
Does.
efficient. Well, it's still the U.S.
It's still
government.
the U.S. government.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just
okay.
location.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
They're on bases. And what was sad is, you know, when we started this issue, we were in Tampa the first time. I went on base and I said, hey, my husband's having a problem. You know what the response was? He's in control of his medical. You can't make decisions for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was always, you know, me going and,
That's when HIPAA goes too far.
Right,
in
Yeah.
my
right. Because at
opinion.
one point when we lived in Tampa, we lived in an area called West Chase, really nice area, about an hour and 10 minutes away from the base.
Oh,
And
okay.
he would come home sometimes and say, I don't remember how I got home.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
wow.
And I was like, what? Were you sleeping? Like, what happened? And he goes, I don't remember.
Oh, my God.
And I said, enough is enough. You're going to kill someone else, if not yourself. So I'd go to the base, I'd tell him what's happening, and still no changes. And it went on for years
Wow.
and years and years.
That's
And
so upsetting.
yeah, it was very upsetting because in the beginning it wasn't a physical thing. He had mood swings, you know, things you can manage.
Yeah.
But then by the time we got to Europe, all bets were off. You
Yeah.
know, it became into a physical thing. It was like he totally changed,
Oh, how
and it just became
painful.
a nightmare for me.
I'm so sorry.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so I can see why you want to
Yeah,
live
I'm like,
your
I'm
life.
good. I'm like,
and-
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you never
Yeah.
know. Like, we don't
Right.
know what can become of ourselves. Like you say, in
100%.
sickness and in health, but at some point you have to choose yourself.
Yes.
Right?
And it's funny that you say that because I actually was talking to Ben yesterday, and that was my mom's whole thing because my dad was an alcoholic and a drug addict.
Oh,
wow.
no.
And I asked my mom, you know, one day I was like, why would you stay? Why would you not get a divorce?
Yes.
And her thing was, I took my vows. Your dad is my best friend. Sickness and health, better for worse. It doesn't say how long the good or bad's going to last.
Oh, wow.
And so, you know, that kind of kept me in my marriage a lot longer than I
That's
should
the
have.
old school way.
It was the old school
Yeah.
way. And I endured so much more drama and abuse mentally and
Gosh.
physically.
Was your
because-
spirit broken after you left the marriage? Like, how'd you find the strength to
no,
leave?
my spirit wasn't broken because as the whole thing was going on, by year 3, I was really focusing on making sure I was healing myself.
Yeah.
Right.
You
So I
have
was
to.
doing the as people call the shadow work to make sure that I was going to come out on the end of this whole. I'd already made a decision that at some point I was going to get the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to step away, but I knew that there was going to be a lot of things I needed to work on to just be sane. You're going from being a spouse and a mom, right? So I'm going to be empty nesting
Mm-hmm.
and no spouse. And that's been your whole life. So your identity is about to be
I get that.
ruined,
Yep.
gone. Your job, as you
Yep.
know, it
Everything
is
that
officially
defined you for
100%.
30 years.
Right. It's
It's
just now
gone. And
right.
who am I?
Yeah.
100%. So I
Yep.
embarked on a 3-year journey of just really finding myself, reconnecting with Maria.
Oh,
Good for
I
you.
am. And so by the time that it was all said and done and I got back here and I was fine.
good.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was in a
good.
good,
You
good
healed.
space. Yeah, I don't
No
feel,
therapy.
No therapy. I'm big on, I'm a realist, right? So I believe in saying it like it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not going to go to the couch for her to try to coax out of me what I already know is to be true. Right?
Yeah.
Some people
yeah.
some people need the coaxing. For me,
Well,
I don't.
And
right?
there's different types of
Different-
therapy too.
well,
so,
100%,
you know,
right. And so I
depending on
think-
what your goals are.
Right. I think therapy is great, you know, right.
Some people need
depending,
it,
depending on
and-
what you
yeah.
what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But for me in that space, I didn't feel like I needed it, but I wasn't opposed to it.
And I think that's the right way.
Right. I
you
said
know.
if I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not facing the hurdles
Yep.
and not being honest about what's going on,
Yep.
because a marriage is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
And though yes, my husband had problems, but what did I bring to the table that created issues too? I needed to deal with that as well.
Very fair.
That's
Well, yeah, 100%.
amazing that you looked at yourself and
100%. Yeah.
We have
pointed
to-
the fingers back.
We have to take a quick break,
Yep,
but
that's
let's
right.
pick right up on
All
that right after the break.
Welcome back to Crazy Rich Neighbors.
So, I mean, you had this incredible self-awareness.
Yes, and I guess I am a very self-aware person. I really don't have a problem going inside and looking at myself and calling out my bullshit.
Good for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I'm really big on that. Like if I'm wrong, like Maria, you were wrong, you need to go apologize because you were wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I have found that I have gotten over issues faster because of that. I don't let them linger because we all know what our shit is. We do.
Yeah.
We all know.
I think there are people that don't know
there's
their
some
shit.
people who may not.
For
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
There might be some, but for the majority
Yes.
of us, we want to.
If we're normal and don't have like a narcissist
Right.
personality
Personality
or
disorder.
a
Right.
disorder,
Right.
you
You
know?
know when you're wrong, but it's tough to call yourself out, right? But how are you supposed to grow and be better if you don't?
Right.
Right? Self-growth is literally that, self-growth.
Right.
You can't, there's no one else that can do it for you.
Correct.
So I'm really big on that. I'm huge into journaling.
Oh, good.
I find it very cathartic.
Did
Yeah.
you journal about the neighborhood party?
I should, I know. August.
I'd love to read that.
August, we're going to be doing reconnaissance work.
Oh my God, we're
I'm so
serious.
down.
You know what? We've always been saying we're going to go to the villages and we'll do the Cagney and Lacey.
Well,
and we
if-
made it to the swing club, but this is
I will
Manalapan
still,
is closed.
I will still
closed,
go to the
yeah.
villages.
I
And I think now we
know.
bring Marie.
Can we get in the villages?
Yes, you can. They have bars and restaurants.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I said, let's go and like stay overnight and do like a pub crawl, right?
Yeah.
And then just people watch. It's not really
Put
about
out some fake scrunchies because they do like the scrubbies.
The
The scrubbies.
The
I was going to
scrubby
say,
coat,
they're
the
the
scrubby
color.
coat,
right.
Yeah,
And I think
Yes.
there is one just about I won't do anything but I'll watch. I think there's a color code for that.
Oh, we we
Right.
got all the codes.
It's
So-
funny you say that. So while I was back to the house party really shortly.
We love this house
I
party, by the
know.
way.
So
Okay.
you tell us whatever you want.
So I definitely am not into swinging 100%. Like there was no turn on
Okay.
in it at all. But I was so intently watching for a minute there, again, calling yourself on your shit. I was like, are you a voyeur?
You would have had that. Wasn't
yeah.
the black one like a voyeur?
I think there was
so
one.
I was
Black
yeah.
one. You were voyeur, girl.
I'm
You got
like,
a
what
black
is going
scrubby.
on here?
But I think that's only if you would become aroused by watching. And
Well, yeah, and I wasn't.
Right.
And so that's when I was like, well, you weren't aroused, so maybe you like just
It's just
a
the-
part-time
maybe you get
voyeur.
numb to
Is there a color for morbid curiosity?
Hey, I know, right?
Maybe that should have been the scrubby. I needed like a dirty brown one. Like,
Yes.
Because I literally was like, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Crazy.
And guess what?
I would be in utter shock. Like,
too.
It was not. Here's the kicker.
seriously, get us into that party.
I'm gonna try.
I'm free that night.
Here's the kicker of all of it. This party was not like at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night.
Because they're old. So what time was it?
It was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
What? They were probably in bed by 8.
Well, they were in bed, but
No,
not
but they
alone.
probably was sleeping by the 8 night. Which time did the party
They
wrap?
partied that.
I left early, so I don't know, but I left maybe at around like 5 something. I stayed
Are
for a couple
you
hours. So,
serious?
Like walking home, so it's daytime, and I'm like, this is happening
This
in
is
the daytime, the broad daylight. And I'm thinking,
Yo.
if you just had binoculars and you were in the house across the water, you
Right?
can totally look because the back half of that whole
And
entire
were
home
they
is
naked
nothing
back
but window.
there?
Yes, in that room.
Everybody know, like in all of Manalapan.
I
does
don't-
everybody
Oprah
know?
I don't know. I need to.
Gail?
I need.
They're gonna know now, child.
I need
Do
to.
they listen?
I need
We
to get
broke
out
the
of my.
story.
I need to break out of my small box and kind of like venture to see like who knows and who's talking, because when I see people there, I wave, I say hello, and I kind of just move on. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty private. Like there's an ongoing joke. The guy was like, "So we don't know what you do. We think you're an athlete. We know you're an athlete because we see you riding your bikes up and you got your sponsored
They
suits
were like
on."
fresh meat,
But-
fresh brown meat.
But they were like,
Bow wow.
but they were like, "What do you do like for money?" And I was like, I
They're
don't know
so
where you're going.
nosy.
Yeah, they're very,
Did you
very,
say, "What
very
do you
nosy."
do for money?
Well, I made a joke and I said, well, maybe I can supply the drugs for the next
Oh, yeah.
You are not helping
Lord.
yourself.
I know. They're like, the element is the dealer and she's got the goods.
Maybe that's what he was hoping.
And he had a little bit of excitement. I was
Oh
like,
my
I'm just joking.
God.
I'm a dietitian. And he was like, oh, that's boring. And I was like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I was like, yeah, it's just a real job like anybody else's.
Did you get a sense at all of how long this might be going on?
Yes, with the comfortability, definitely for at least a couple years. They were just way too comfortable. And the conversations when we first came in, because it wasn't like automatically just straight to the back room.
Yes.
There was mingling going on, and I was just listening to the conversations, and you can tell that these people genuinely know each other. Like,
Yes.
they are friends and they do other things together. There was a couple and another group talking about some type of ski thing that they did earlier in the year in Colorado. So they hang out together. These are real communities of
wonder,
people.
and I Googled, you know what I mean? We
Right.
love to like
find-
research
research
the area and
right.
research the drama, and usually some stories come up. And I was Googling like Manalapan scandals, Manalapan swingers, Manalapan problems, and like nothing buried.
It's on lockdown.
It's a
It
very
is so buttoned up.
It's a very buttoned up, very quiet, very prominent. We don't discuss any crazy.
Are you gonna get like booted out the clique after this episode?
Guess what? I don't really care. I'm not trying to get any like 80-year-old scrotum. I'm okay I'll pass. I'm all right. You weren't really offering me anything.
Okay,
maybe a drug addiction.
Right. You probably already scoped all of Manalapan.
Yeah.
You're like, no, thank you.
I was like,
okay,
there
no, thank
definitely
you.
was. I'm happy to be invited, but
Yes.
do you need house management? I hear you guys are paying.
Yeah,
You know what's so fascinating to me is that they have all found each other in this community, and they're all, except obviously for you and Oprah and Gail and John Bon Jovi, they're all on the same page about all this stuff.
Look how we found each other and our crazy crew within our little small
I know, but our shenanigans are nothing.
I know, but it's still a type of turn up.
It's a
It is a turn
it's
up.
a way that
Energy.
it's an energy. 100%.
Okay, and-
I got that impression when I went to the little social for the homeowners, whatever that was supposed to be. Like you could
It
tell
was divided.
There was big divide because there are couples that live maybe I guess probably like a half mile to a mile down the road going south that are totally not part of the clique.
I cannot wait
You know,
until we
'cause
get
they-
off camera to ask you about this couple.
Do you think
that I
they know?
in
They were-
Manalapan.
Well, I don't know if they know, but they were definitely like the Karens of
Oh,
you
God.
know, yeah.
Probably
like
judging.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Schmittler's
Judging.
wife.
Yes, very like irritated. Like, oh, you had the dump trucks at your thing pouring the concrete
that's like
too long. and-
90% of
Oh.
our neighborhood.
Well, not anymore.
Not
but we
anymore,
had,
in the
We live
beginning.
in a very small little enclave,
Right.
22 homes.
Okay.
And when, like a couple years ago, not long after we became friends, 4 of the different homes were
Right.
batshit crazy, which led us to start this podcast.
They were horrible to us.
The one neighbor called the cops on me twice because she didn't like my plant in front of our house.
She had a Meyer lemon, little scrawny Meyer lemon
And
plant.
it had been there for a year.
There's a lot of that. There's notices
Curb,
that get
she doesn't
all the
understand
time.
curb appeal. I'm like, what? Like,
Look at yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
remember
your
what she looked
Birkenstocks
like
and
in her
khaki pants.
short Bermuda, her tight Bermuda shorts.
when she
and her
met me, she was
freaking
like, my
perm.
name is whatever, as in
Schmittler.
Schmittler, as in Hitler.
That's what she said.
Oh my. That's when you should have said, and I'm the element.
Okay, hello, bitch. The element is here to make your life
You
hell.
can use that now because people are going to be like, you're the what?
Oh, my husband then turned around and ran and beat her husband, who was president of the association for years. He's like, take that motherfucker. Like, don't fuck with my wife.
that's
One
right.
thing you ain't gonna do is fuck with me.
Right.
Yep.
Okay?
And we drove them out. All the
Well, that was
crazies,
good.
all 4 of the crazies, one by one, and they
I
all
just don't
sold
show
before
up.
the market went high.
Oh,
so they got
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
They
Yeah.
did. They didn't deserve that
No,
money.
child.
They
lost
tortured
out.
us.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, they hated us so
I just
much.
I don't get involved.
Why are
I
rich
don't
people
go.
so miserable?
Because they're bored.
You know, they
I
are.
think too. A
very
couple
bored.
of them had mental problems. The Schmittlers for
be.
sure. Kim Jong Judy. I mean,
Kim Jong Judy.
the Wicked Witch of the East Side, who's still kicking.
I don't know if she's mental, but she's cranky.
She was
but
evil.
Kim Jong was definitely cray cray.
Yeah. Yeah. It
think-
was bad.
I think that the aging process with a lot of money, I mean, a couple things come into play. Like, right, if your health is not really good, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Right? What are you going to do? And then,
Didn't stop wheelchair guy.
right, didn't stop wheelchair. Wheelchair guy was he was very
Getting
happy.
it on and popping.
He was-
But
he
you
had
know,
a-
I love
he-
that for him.
Kinda
I
had
do
a little-
too.
he had
A
like
recline?
a little scoot up in the chair.
Oh my God.
And like somebody was literally on him.
Yes, he needs a better chair. He needs a reclining back chair.
Oh
We gotta
my
keep-
God.
Rich enough to get that customized.
I know. We got to keep that low back all right. Like,
What the
you're already in the chair. It's clearly a
Shaz
problem.
balls.
But
But yeah, I think
But you know what? At the end of the day, they're living their lives and they're having fun and they're probably raising their
and
kids
that
and probably
was that was the thing that I noticed the most.
I'm
Like
not
they
the-
were very carefree and they were living whatever their truth is in pure sheer comfort.
And I guess you have to
You know?
appreciate that, right?
Yeah, I did. And I mean, it's a different lifestyle, right? And we all have different lifestyles.
True.
But I definitely was like, wow, like I was looking at those women and the men their bodies were definitely not good. I was
Right.
like, whoa, that's like, wow. Like we should not have anything out here. Where's
Didn't
the robe?
care.
You should just hold
Cover that
We should
junk
just hold
up.
this piece open and be done.
Oh my, that's all I
They
care
were-
about.
Yeah, they were so comfortable in their skin.
But
And-
also too the drug use. Like I have never touched coke because I'm so
I've never even
afraid.
seen it in real life.
I've seen it from friends.
Yeah.
But-
I'm not.
But you know what I mean? Like how are they sniffing coke to get through the day? Because like, or do
think
you
this is,
just
like,
use it
party
once a
drugs.
month? Yeah, but
Yeah.
coke's so addictive,
Well,
right?
that's the thing.
Or is it not?
That's something that I can speak on from my dad. My dad was a highly functional addict
Oh, wow.
until he eventually,
Wasn't.
many years past, wasn't. My dad would get high. He would, my
Like
parents.
cocaine?
And crack. My parents had a business they ran right here in South Florida for years, and they did extremely well. And my dad never missed work. I'm talking about
Wow.
for decades. And he was just a functioning addict. So people can
Okay.
be very functional, especially I think at that upper echelon area because they're looking at it as, we just had the gummy candies. It's like, oh, well, today we're doing some gummy candies, and then tomorrow we're done.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like they don't need it to function, you don't think?
I
like
don't know. I
these-
didn't get the because I see the other women,
Yeah.
and they're
They're not like twitchy.
not
and
twitchy
bugged
and
out.
yeah, they're not high.
Yeah, okay.
That's so weird.
When I talk to them and I see them in Publix, they are completely
That's some
bananas.
clean, high grade coke, probably, or whatever. I don't know. I'm
was
scared.
it
of
was
that
very
foolishness.
nicely set up, and I was like, whatever was going on in the bucket was colorful, and I was like, well, the
Oh,
assortment.
wow. Well, listen, we need a part two.
We do, because
because
we're running
this
out
is
of
juicy,
time, and this
we
next session is your time, so we
fine.
gotta wrap up. But oh my god, this was delightful.
Yes.
You're delightful.
Thank you. Welcome to Manalapan.
Oh my gosh. I know, but do we have time for like questions about her fitness journey, or
Well,
we need
it's-
a part two?
It's 6 minutes into her session because Marie's
Oh,
recording next.
Maria, can we have you back for part two? Because we have
can.
so many questions about like
Yes.
some other salacious things, but also,
Also
too
your fitness journey and your-
journey
100%.
and
Awesome.
how can you help our bougie crew and us, like
Yes.
get
I have a lot
fit?
of I,
Get
wanna
I
snatched.
work a lot with executive
Yes.
clients. That's my niche.
Okay.
Can we talk? Can we have a part
Yeah,
two?
part
the fitness
two.
baddie.
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, I'm
Awesome.
down.
Okay. Good.
Lord have mercy.
This is so juicy.
That's so juicy.
So much juicier than I could ever have imagined.
Ooh, queen. Well, why don't you start off, Maria, with your Bougie Bible
Yes.
pick, because you're our guest.
So my Bougie Bible pick today is Elastin Skincare.
Yes.
Girl.
Do you go to Dr. Alexis in Parkland?
Yes.
Me too. It's like the only black dermatologist.
only
She's
black
moving to
derm-
Boca.
She's an element?
Yeah.
She's an element. She's
an
moving to
element.
Boca.
She's
She's moving
so
to
there's
Boca.
element, there's upper element. She's upper
She's
element.
moving to Boca, so we
Yeah.
won't have to drive to
all
Parkland.
I know, thank God. So this
Shout out to Dr. Alexis Stevens.
Yeah, I know, yeah, shout out.
Alexis Stevens, is that her name?
So-
Okay.
This skin cleanser, I use the entire line.
Wow.
It's just
Me
been
too.
phenomenal, like to the texture, the moisture, all of it on my skin. Because I'm outside all the time, I also use the heavy duty SPF moisturizer, tinted moisturizer, which I absolutely love, love, love. I'm not a makeup person. And
don't
so
need
I,
it.
No.
Thank you. I didn't think I was going to like any of that. I was like, oh, this is slightly tinted, but she's like, you'll be fine. You'll use
Yes.
it. But the cleanser, this is
Really?
my.
It's so
Yes.
good.
Is
so
it
good.
foaming?
No, it's like
Okay.
a cream.
Okay.
I swim quite a bit as well, so I'm in chlorine about 4 times a week.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So as soon as I get out of the pool, this is the first thing I layer it on my face. I kind of let it sit while I'm drying my hair, and then I go over to the shower and wash my face. But this is like my secret sauce. So this is
Wow.
my Bougie Bible product.
Oh, that's a good one.
And is there a website people can buy it off of? Or
I
do you
just
need to
always
see the
kind
doctor?
of go and buy it. No, you don't need to see the doctor. I'm
No.
sure you can buy this online. Elastin Skincare. I'm sure you can get it online.
Okay.
And they have one that you rub on the body, like your buttocks
Your
and stomach, and
yes.
it literally tightens
Tightens
it
you
up.
up.
Really?
Yes.
You all
It's
these
like
years
two-
you've never told me this?
It's like $250
Yeah, I was gonna
for
say,
like a
it's a-
little
it's a-
Worth it.
thing, but it's worth it.
it.
I I think it's worth it.
A little,
swear
yeah,
to
when I saw it, I was
God.
like, I think I'm tight enough.
Well, girl,
save
you
my
don't
teeth.
Yeah,
need
you're
it.
good. I need it. You know.
Ah,
But I'm not opposed to buying it if anything starts
Yeah,
slipping.
no, it's good.
good to have it for backup.
Yeah, it is not cheap, but
Nice.
it freaking
Yeah.
works.
Well, look, if it works, then
It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It does. I cannot believe Dr. Alexis is
I know.
your dermatologist. That's crazy. Small world. So, NYX Duck Plump Lip Plumper is
Nice.
my Bougie Bible pick for this week. I have pretty thick lips, but you know, as you age, like you start to see little lines or whatever, and the
Right.
lips get so dehydrated or
Oh,
whatever.
mine do for
Oh my
sure.
God, and it just kind of shrivels
They
it. And I'm
shrivel.
like, where
Mine
is that
definitely do.
plump? So you guys, it is like cruelty-free, only natural stuff in it. It burns like a mother.
Well, because that's
Well,
what
that's how
what's
it
happening to the
plumps.
plump. Yeah.
Y'all, it burns. Okay, but it comes.
It's worth it. It's worth the burn.
It is worth it. But it's like $12.95, and they have literally, I don't know, about 12 different colors. You can get in like the nudes, reds. This one is just clear, and it leaves such a good little
Nice
God,
gloss.
I'm gonna be regretting this shit. When I'm mad at my husband, I put this on. I'm like,
remember what you told me. You gotta do whatever it
you
takes.
gotta do what you gotta do,
That's
boo.
Correct.
right,
Suck
to
it
look
up,
better.
Buttercup.
Yes. So
It's so true.
highly recommended, people.
Well, my Bougie Bible pick is your recommendation to me, the Dior Show mascara. Now, I'm a mascara basically expert because I did 12 years of Maybelline mascara advertising.
Oh, wow.
8 years, sorry. And so Dior Show is 90% naturally origined, and it's definition and volume in one mascara, 24-hour wear, transfer proof, waterproof, tray important in sticky, slimy Florida in the
Yes.
summertime.
Yes.
100%.
You can buy it on their website or any luxury department store. So check it out, Dior Show Mascara.
It's awesome. Maria, thank you so much for joining
you
us.
for
Please
having
tell
me.
our Bougie
Love
crew
you.
where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Maria_C_Carson, or you can find my podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple. And it's the Do It Anyway podcast with Maria Redmond.
And you're
we-
coming back.
And we
Yes.
are absolutely doing a part 2. ASAP, I need more of this woman, okay?
Me
It's
too.
Awesome. That's
so
all we
you
got.
guys, that's it.
Yes. Give the gift of crazy and share this ish with your friends.
You know it. Follow us on your platform of choice to never miss an episode.
And follow us on IG and Facebook at CRN Podcast.
And you can drop us a line, questions, comments, show ideas, or your own crazy neighbor story, info@crazyneighbors.com.
And if you have to ask who your crazy neighbor is, it's Maria's neighbors.
Amen, sister!
Sure.
It ain't you, it ain't me, it's them.
Bye, Ben.
Okay.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Ben.
having
Bye,
me.
Bougie Crew.
Be
Love you.
good.
Bye.